Every time Vulcans spoke, the galaxy listened. Their words carried the weight of centuries, their logic considered flawless. But the day the Federation Council was born, something strange happened. The Vulcans, masters of debate, heirs to 1,000 years of philosophy, chose silence. And in that silence, humanity's voice became the one that echoed loudest. The founding council was chaos cloaked in ceremony. Andorians demanded security guarantees. Tellarites bellowed over trade disputes. Denobulans laced every statement with conditions. Vulcans, seated at the center, had prepared a meticulous framework, a structure of laws, procedures, and protocols, the scaffolding for what they imagined would be a Vulcan-led order. They believed they were there to refine details, to apply calm logic to the noise of emotional species. But they underestimated the humans. On the first day, as disputes threatened to derail the entire effort, Vulcans rose to speak. Their words were precise, their solutions elegant, their tone impeccable, and yet nothing changed. Andorians snarled that Vulcan logic disguised self-interest. Tellarites accused Vulcans of arrogance. Even the usually neutral Coordinates shifted uncomfortably. The room dissolved into squabbling. Then Elias Mercer, yes, the same captain who once lied his way into saving a treaty, stood and did what no Vulcan would have dared. He told the council to shut up. He didn't phrase it delicately. He didn't couch it in logic. He raised his voice, pounded the table, and accused them all of acting like spoiled children in a galaxy that didn't have time for their egos. Gasps filled the chamber. Vulcans stared in shock. But for the first time that day, the room went quiet. In that pause, Mercer did something even more unthinkable. He told a story, not of statistics or probabilities, but of a night on Earth when rival tribes faced extinction. They had no common language, no shared customs, but when the fire died, they huddled together for warmth, and in that moment, survival became more important than pride. That, he said, is why we're here, not to win arguments, to live long enough to keep arguing tomorrow. The council broke into laughter, real disarming laughter. The tension cracked. And for the rest of the day, the species listened, not to Vulcan laws, not to Vulcan structures, but to the raw, emotional voice of humanity. The Vulcans were stunned. Their logic was sound, but it had failed to move the council. Humanity's passion was reckless, undisciplined, and utterly effective. By the third day, Vulcan representatives made a decision unprecedented in their history. They chose silence. Instead of dominating the debate, they listened. Instead of correcting errors, they let humanity speak first. And every time the council reached a deadlock, it was the humans who broke it, not with precision, but with messy, heartfelt appeals that cut through suspicion in ways Vulcan logic never could. By the end of the month, the Federation Charter bore the marks of compromise, passion, and yes, human audacity. The structure was Vulcan in its logic, but the spirit was undeniably human. And it was that spirit, raw, defiant hope, that turned a fragile coalition into something greater than the sum of its parts. Privately, Vulcan ambassadors admitted what they never would in public, that silence had been their greatest contribution. By stepping back, they allowed humanity's voice to lead, not because humans were wiser, not because they were stronger, but because only humans could bridge chaos with courage, logic with heart. Years later, when asked why the Vulcans let humans run the Federation, Ambassador Terrell finally spoke the truth. Because we understood that logic could build a table, but only humanity could make others sit at it. And so, history remembers that day not as the triumph of Vulcan philosophy, but as the moment Vulcans chose silence. And in that silence, humanity spoke a future into being.